good runner, and I'm here today to talk to him about that. So, Kyle, how did you get started with running?
Well, my father got started with running a few years ago, and he started out just running a few miles at a time. Then he really got into it. We have some family friends that are marathon runners, and he, bought all the books, all the magazines. He knows everything there is to know about running. He's a very intellectual person, and so he kind of got me started with it.
When you started running, was it more just to spend time with your father, or was it more a fitness thing?
It started out as something to spend time with my father, but it turned into a fitness thing because that became previously, my main sports had been, tennis, and then I just really got into running, found I really liked it, and it really suited me well, and so now it's much more of a fitness reason for running.
Do you listen to music when you run?
I do not, and I know that's very rare nowadays, but I do not listen to music. One, because it takes my focus off of what I'm doing, but also just because logistically, whenever you're running for 10 or 15 miles at a time, you're all sweaty and you've got this wire stuck to you, and it's just, and then you have to keep like moving around to change songs, and then it runs out of battery, and what do you do with it? And so I do not believe in running with music, but I know that a lot of people do. I tell this to people and they don't believe me, but I promise you it's true. Um, the average person that doesn't run could run a 5K within a week.
There are a lot of people out there like me who, would say you're crazy if you said that I could run a 5K.
Hmm.
But do you have any tips for people who aren't really runners that want to get into running?
Yes, I would say keep in mind that it is a mental game um, because whenever you start out, even if I haven't run in a while, that first mile, I feel like I can't run it because your mind is screaming at you, I'm in pain, this is bad, stop doing this to me. And you just have to, I would say, focus on your breathing. One of the things we learn in running is that there is pain that comes, um, but you have to breathe through the pain, and it actually ends up to be kind of an addicting feeling. Another thing I would say is that most people go in and they just go, I'm going to run a mile, then I'm going to stop, and the next day I'll run a little further, which is good, but there is such thing as form in running. There's a right way and a wrong way, and as silly as that sounds, it really does make a difference. And so if you can just do a little bit of research, ask a runner or you read an article or get a book, that's what helped me because I have not been much of an athlete in my early life, but my father gave me all of the secrets, at the beginning. So that's what kind of springboarded my running career, I guess, and it does help a lot. And then I guess um, a final piece of advice would be that stretching is not stupid, because people think it's just so that you don't pull a muscle. It is good for that, but the tension of tight muscles is just something that, I mean, it's a huge distraction when you're running, and it really limits what you can do.
Have you noticed a change in your physiology since you started running?
Thing seemed tiring to me whenever I was training for my half marathon because, I'm going to go run 10 miles this afternoon, so going up 3 flights of stairs isn't that big a deal. Um, but also, it's going to sound dumb, but just the way that I kind of move around, my apartment or just like pick things up or hand things to people, it's, I guess it feels less lazy and more like I'm thinking about what my muscles are doing, everything that I do.
What was your time for the marathon last year?
Time for the marathon is kind of embarrassing. I came in just a little over 2 hours, which whenever you train, you have pacing goals, and so a watch is very important in running. Um, and by my pacing goals, I should have come in a lot below that. But what I didn't anticipate was all the hills, which I researched later and found out that if I would have just read into it, that the marathon is they have rankings for different marathon or half marathon courses, and it's ranked the highest difficulty in Texas because it's got so many hills. There were times that I was running up a hill and could put my hand in front of me and touch the ground. It was that steep. And it's not that it's not that I'm complaining like it's so hard because obviously a lot of people had great times um, coming in from the marathon, but I hadn't trained for that. And in my hometown, we don't even have hills.
Do you have any specific running gear that helps you run faster or do better?
A watch, in my opinion, no runner can run without a watch because if you're not pacing yourself, then the only thing you have to go by, is the runners around you.